Each season of Apex Legends will be bringing with it new features, including new weapons, but what could they be? We've collected clues from the Titanfall games, as well as what's been found in Apex Legends itself, so let's take a look at what we can expect to see in the near future. Almost every weapon that Apex Legends launched with is based on a gun from the Titanfall games. However, there are still some missing, such as the L-Star, a light machine gun that can also cause enemies' bodies to explode upon death. In Titanfall 2, it had a fast rate of fire and good damage, but its projectiles were slow moving, meaning that you really needed to lead your target, something that was quite tricky in a game with incredibly fast and varied movement. This gun is almost definitely going to be in Apex soon, as it's actually featured as part of the loading screen being held by Bloodhound. There have also been references found to it in the game's files. Now, this is always subject to change, but the data mined information suggests that the weapon has no attachments and some very high stats, meaning it's likely going to be a legendary weapon. Probably the most famous and controversial weapon from the Titanfall games is the Smart Pistol. This gun has a fairly limited range, but when close enough to targets, it would actually begin to lock onto them. Given enough time, you could line up enough shots to instantly kill another player. Of course, this was quite controversial with the community, as many players felt the gun required very little skill and was unfair. The counter-argument was that the lock-on time was very slow, giving the gun a high time to kill, especially in a game with a number of ways to be instantly killed. Now, could this gun turn up in Apex? Well, it's a pretty iconic part of the Titanfall series. However, in Titanfall 2, we saw the gun removed from the main selection of weapons and instead turned into a boost, a special ability that needed to be charged up, similar to an ultimate, and that is one way we could see it in Apex, as a specific new character's ultimate ability. There is always the chance of it becoming a standard weapon, but with the drastically larger map of Apex, I actually wonder how effective it would really be. The Combat Advanced Round Submachine Gun is a hard-hitting but slightly slower firing SMG. It exists as somewhat of a bridge between guns like the R99 and the R301. Just like the L-Star, this gun is also very likely to be added in the near future, as references to it have been found inside of the game's files. It would be a great addition. It's an SMG that rewards a steady hand and good tracking. The recoil is more manageable than similar weapons, and it's a fairly easy weapon to use when in its optimal range. Another type of weapon that's currently missing from Apex is any form of rocket or grenade launcher, but we have seen a number of these in the Titanfall games. In Titanfall 2, these came in a mixture of anti-Titan ones, like the Archer, and anti-infantry ones, like the EPG-1 and Sidewinder. I think if any of these are added to Apex, they will likely be legendary weapons. This avoids the need to add a new type of ammo, and keeps them from being overused and overshadowing more precise aim-based weapons. There are also a number of thrown grenades and similar weapons that could end up in Apex, for example the Gravity Star. This is one of the more unique Titanfall weapons. On the surface, it's an effective way to pull people out of cover and get an easy shot on them, but the gravity warping effects also allow you to curve bullets for some insane trick shots. The Satchel Charge can be stuck on any surface and then detonated at will, causing a substantial explosion, great for setting an ambush or using against a player who doesn't know you're there. The Pulse Blade was a tactical ability in Titanfall 2 that was a thrown dagger which would emit a sonar pulse upon impact, revealing nearby enemies through walls. This is of course very similar to what Bloodhound can do in Apex, but would also make a very interesting single-use thrown weapon, able to deal damage if you hit a target, but more importantly, providing information on enemy positions. Electric Smoke was also a popular grenade in Titanfall 2. It functioned almost exactly like Bangalore's smoke launcher in Apex, except on a smaller radius, and the smoke did damage. There have been references found in the game's files to a smoke grenade of some kind that is unrelated to Bangalore's ability, so it is likely that we're going to see something like this in the near future, but I'm a little bit disappointed that there is nothing to indicate that it's going to be electrified. Another piece of data mined info references a frag drone called a Tick, something that you'll be familiar with if you play Titanfall 2. Just like the Smart Pistol, this was an activatable boost that would release these spider-like drones to hunt down targets and explode near them. A number of other weapons have also been data mined, meaning they're likely to appear in the game, such as the Proto Hold Beam. The description for this gun claims that it drains energy from robotic targets, which is a bit of an odd design choice unless the developers really hate Pathfinder. This probably relates to some kind of currently unreleased game mode, possibly something that uses Titans or Spectres in some way. Another weapon that's been found referenced in the game's files is called Orbital Strike. This appears to be a thrown projectile that marks an area, which is then hit with rockets from above, a similar but no doubt weaker version of Gibraltar's ultimate. There are some other rumours linked to files found within the game's code, such as references to a flamethrower and a remote turret. However, the information about these is far more limited than the Orbital Strike, the Proto Hold Beam or smoke grenades for example, and that could indicate that these are possibly abilities for future characters rather than normal weapons that anyone could use. It could also just be leftover pieces of code. So which of these weapons are you most interested in being added to the game? Do you like the idea of the L-Star? How do you feel about the Smart Pistol? Let me know in the comments below. As always, this is James for Chaos, saying thanks for watching, and enjoy the game.